Hi, hot old Jima here, who doesn't feel or look too hot right now, but I'm recovering from COVID. My husband was exposed to COVID at work. His whole department was sick. On June 6th, I wasn't feeling so well, and my husband still wasn't well, so we went to ReadyCare and got a COVID test. We both tested positive. Now, I've wrote things down, so if I'm looking down, it's just because I'm trying to read it, because COVID gives you COVID brain and you don't keep things real straight. We go home. Bob is very tired and has aches and pains. I vomit and have diarrhea and can't keep anything down. On the 8th, vomiting and sleeping a lot. I had lost over 12 pounds, so I can't even keep Pedialyte or Gatorade down, but I was happy about the weight loss. Shoot, I'd been trying for a long time. I kept 2 crackers down a couple days later, and I think I'm getting better. Nope, didn't stay down. On the 14th, my husband and I decided it's time for me to go to the hospital. We went to ER, and he put me in a chair and went up there, and we told him I had COVID and I was sick. And so they left me in the waiting room for 5 hours. Come to find out, they only hire temps. Most of them aren't employees. They're only there for a contract of 1 year. Sometimes they extend it. Most of the time, the nurses don't stay. So meanwhile, they were short-staffed. So I spent the night in ER. When I got there, I was vomiting and diarrhea. So it took them quite a long time, probably a couple hours, to give me enough medicine to stop vomiting and shitting, for lack of anything better. I sent my husband home. When they retested me and said, "You have COVID," I'm like, "Well, yeah." And so I sent my husband home to get the basics because I wasn't going home. They were going to admit me. They shut out the bathroom as soon as they figured out I did have COVID, because I'd gone to the public restroom and locked that all up. From then on, I was hooked to IVs and used a pot. Not the best thing, but hey, I was sick. So I got in my room. The people that came in looked like from the movies. Big clear plastic helmets with breathing apparatus and all this garb on them, and gloves and gowns and Space Invader kind of thing. Actually, hazmat suits, but in my mind, I'm sick, so that's what I'm thinking. There was a board on the wall. It's a whiteboard, and every day they change the date and the name of the doctor and the nurse aide for that shift. Oddly enough, this becomes like something I really rely on, because I'm so confused. When I go to sleep, I wake up and I can see the board, if it's changed or not changed, and where I am in my stay, and that people are actually coming in and out. I'll elaborate on that later. On the 15th, I wasn't absorbing any oxygen. They came in and put oxygen machine on me that blows hot, wet air, and it forces air into me. I didn't want to do it. I called my husband. They've been doing oxygen treatments on me. I was on Rezavir with a cocktail of drugs. I had IVs in both my arms. I could only use a portable pot, which was right next to my chair, so I wasn't moving at all. So I begged my husband to come and get me. The nurse came in and bluntly said that if I go home, I'd be dead by the morning. My oxygen intake was 46%. I cried because I couldn't breathe. I cried because I couldn't go home. I cried because my husband said he wouldn't come get me. I was really, really scared. They put me on a clear diet, O2 levels 46%. And if I didn't get it up, they were going to have to put me on a ventilator machine. Working hard to try and get my lungs to work. Thank God for all the years in choir, because I learned how to expand my lungs. I was trying to do it that way, along with the little thingy they give you to do. And it hurt really bad. I cried a lot, and boy, did I use the F word a lot. Those poor nurses, the F word bomb came out of me all the time. They were checking on my lungs for blood clots and pneumonia. I got out of the room 4 days probably before they let me out for about 30 minutes. I was on a gurney and all messed up, but that's when I find they wheeled me out of the room and I could feel fresh air and people. People were out there and well, and funny how seclusion plays with your mind. I had thought, that sci-fi thing, and I was the last one alive, and how many other people were alive in this world. Though I know on the other half of my brain, I was talking to people, so I know, but I was so confused because I was so sick. I was getting Resavir, Resicin, steroids, and I was on intravenous for I don't know how many times a day for hours. I had 13 IVs collapse on me. Now a Medline was put into me, and that seemed to work. My whole arms up and down were just totally bruised. There was nowhere else for them to put an IV because every vein had collapsed. On the 19th, screaming and holding my right arm up, they come in and they remove the IV because that was before I got the Medline. I had phlebitis. It ran from my wrist all the way to my armpit. And I got put, thank you, back on regular oxygen, 5 to 6 milliliters. So I was getting better, but the phlebitis, which I never heard of, sucked. They gave me medication, took the IVs out, put the Medline in me, and that was really good. I had a really bad storm when I was at the hospital, and the backup generators came on. Only my oxygen was working for about 15 minutes. Then the other backups kicked in at 30 minutes, and the final backup kicked. And so my TV worked, because you understand, TV was the only thing I had. That and the call thing for the nurse, which I hit 1,000,000 times and didn't realize because I'd roll on it, I'd touch it, poor nurse. On the 21st, the doctor came in, and I can't leave until I get my oxygen intake down. He wants to give me sulfa to get rid of the liquid on my lungs called Lasix. And I'm allergic to sulfa, so I refused. And I said there's another option. So he used something else. On the 23rd, I slept like a rock. I woke up only when they came in, because normally the door, because I was in that chamber room, but the nurses finally learned to hold the door when they closed it. So I slept all the way through the night. Personally, I didn't think they wanted to hear the F word coming out me and me apologizing, me say all sorts of stuff off the top of my head. Who knows? So on the 23rd, after that, the chaplain finally shows up. Mind you, I've been in the hospital since the 14th. And I looked at him and I said, I'm not fucking dying. Needless to say, that was a short visit. I'd like to know where he was the first zillion days I was in there. Probably didn't want to come near me because I had COVID. I get it. The 24th, I was finally able to get up to go to the bathroom. The nurse's aide allowed me to wash my hair. I moaned like great sex because it had been almost 20 days since I'd washed my hair. I dug my scalp so bad, it was bleeding, and it had bloody scabs. The washing of my hair was wonderful because, mind you, couldn't take a shower, couldn't get up. I couldn't go any further than the little 4-foot, not even that far, to go to the bathroom, throw away something in the wastebasket, which was at the side of my bed, and then on the other side was a table where I ate. That was my little world for the whole time I was in the hospital, but the last 2 days. Doctor said I could go home in 2 or 3 days. I was feeling better, hair clean, and I got to wash up. I was feeling human. My son and his wife sent me pictures of my grandkids and videos while I was in the hospital, and kept me sane because that was my happiness. I couldn't be there at their baseball games, but I got to watch little clips, I'm going to cry, of what was going on in the world, at least my world. The 26th, I broke out and got released out of the hospital. I couldn't wait to get home and relax. Breakfast and lunch, and then I got to go home. Doctor said they're getting everything ready to send me home. Have to call the oxygen company and when I can get home so they can, correlate that so I can have oxygen there and me. Of course, I was on oxygen when I went home, one of those portable ones. The 27th, I wake up and there's no power in my town. Thank God I had a container of oxygen that would work in case I lose power. My son kept giving me updates on the baseball tournaments my grandsons were in, so that was really cool. But I received an email from work. It said that my FML. I started feeling better, but I still wasn't good. I couldn't do much. But for 4th of July, we took my oxygen outside, put me in the shade, and let me watch everybody swim and cook out and stuff like that. I stood up and I said, something's wrong. I can't breathe. Bob dashed to me, my husband, and found out that my tank came apart. When I sat down, started running water just sweating off my face. And I was soaked. My whole body was soaked. They got it all hooked back up and I felt better. Exhausted, but better. I tried getting unemployment, couldn't do it. I've been to the hospital 4 times for x-rays and tests. My husband has taken time off to take me everywhere because I can't drive, because I'm dizzy and I bounce off things. It's pretty bad. I have congestive heart failure. I have water on the lungs still. I'm still on oxygen. There's so many things wrong with me. I can't even think of all of them. Severe headaches. I sleep a lot. A lot of things. Meanwhile, my brother calls my sister died. Meanwhile, he tells me he has brain cancer. Meanwhile, I'm a wreck. Called and texted my son, had my grandson come over for the day, because it is like my highlight. I can't take all of them, there's several, because I'm too sick. Even with my husband, it's just too much. I barely go anywhere, and when I do, I have to use one of those little teeny carts I push around, and never saw myself doing that. Because I might be old, but I've always been pretty active. I went to the doctor's office and then asked over the phone. They had called and told me I had congestive heart failure. Boy, that blew me away, regressing, because I already told you that. So I'm still off work. I have to go to more specialists next month, and hopefully we'll get pointed in the right direction. Oh, forgot to tell you, I was on heart medicine for my blood pressure, and they changed all of it because I had swelling while I got home, and my swelling was worse. And just in case you want to know, my neck swelled up, my feet swelled up like big old logs, my hands swelled up. I was a mess. And I called the doctor. Well, that was the day the doctor called me. I was going to call him about it. And they told me I had congestive heart failure. Well, I started spinning. I told her, well, this is what's going on. She goes, well, if you have those symptoms, go to the hospital. Well, I was such a mess, I didn't. When I saw him Tuesday, they put me on diuretics. And let me tell you, it saved my life. My hands are normal size for me. My feet are doing a lot better. Everything's doing a little better. I'm able, looks like, to lose weight now, and because I was retaining so much water. The first day second day I got put on the medication, I'd lost 8 pounds. Well, that was just the water I was retaining. There's so much more I could tell you. There's so much more I've forgotten. I'm so glad I kept notes. I'm not better yet. So you're going to say, why don't you take the shot? I planned on taking the shot in May, and then J&J pulled it because of the symptoms they were having with other patients. So then I got scared. About the time I was going to take it and they put J&J back on, I decided I was going to take Moderna. And then it was Memorial weekend. Then I got sick and it just didn't happen. Personally, I would get the shot. I will get the shot when I'm healthy. I can't get it now, but I plan on getting it. So I hope this helps. I hope this answers some of your questions. Every symptom's different. Everybody's COVID's different. Take care. Enjoy every day. Bye.